He's a counselor and a turning point, counseling and sexual recovery therapist.
That's right.
And also he writes on a magazine.
Yes.
Oh, he's covering the magazine. Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, we have a very good article from last time. It was good sex after 60.
Yeah. It is possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Should never end. No, honestly, that's
the gift that keeps on giving.
And it's good for the heart. It's good for exercise. It's good cardio.
Gotta keep your cardio up even when you're 60.
It's right. And yeah, so.
And something that he really talks about, and I think is very important, is about how porn affects self-esteem.
P-O-R-N.
The P word.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to know a little bit more about what you do and how you help people and what you think about the porn addiction and how it affects women.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's a great topic. It's sort of the elephant in the room a little bit still, it's kind of out there, and we know porn's out there and we know about the internet, but a lot of people really don't discuss the issue very much, and there's a lot of shame and embarrassment around it as well for both men and women, right? But since the internet really made porn accessible starting about 15 or 20 years ago, it's the fastest growing addiction that I deal with. And I deal with porn and sex addicts and people with a whole range of sexually compulsive behaviors. So not everyone that looks at porn fits the model of an addict, right? Mm-hmm. But you can assess addiction with any behavior the same way. Mm-hmm. So if someone comes into me and says, looking at a lot of porn, or maybe the wife comes in and says, he seems to look at a lot of porn, I'm not really sure, is he addicted or not? I say, well, have you tried to stop before and you couldn't stop? Yes, okay. Have you made promises to yourself or other people and broken those promises? Yes, okay. Are you lying or hiding this behavior? Yeah, I am, okay. Do you find that you're developing what we call tolerance? So do you need more and more? Do you need to go harder and harder, more extreme porn? Well, yeah, I do, And so those are just 4 or 5 of the things, and there's a few other things I ask. And that's how you assess it. That's how you know, right? There's a set of questions you can ask, so it has nothing to do, because a lot of people will say, well, I don't think I'm addicted, or I don't feel like I'm addicted. Say, well, I'm not interested in how you feel. I'm interested in, answer these questions.
Right. And that's pretty much denial too, right?
Denial is huge. Yeah.
It's like an alcohol.
That's right.
It's like, I just drink on the weekends.
That's right.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, and alcohol, gambling, food, drugs, it's all, those are all things that can become problems really quick, right?
Is there an actual healthy porn, as soon as it's an addiction, it's not healthy anymore, but is there like, what's the fine balance between being addicted and not being addicted, where it actually can it do good?
Yeah, that's a great point. Personally, I tell people when they come in, if they're an addict, okay, there's no safe amount of porn from this moment forward that you're going to be able to watch. You have to quit altogether. And the reason for that is there's a biological reason for it, and that's because the neural pathways of the brain have been changed by watching sexually explicit material.
Yes.
Okay? So we understand a lot more about this in the last 10 or 15 years with books like The Brain That Changes Itself and the neuroplasticity of the brain and these things that people are starting to hear about. So what's happened is he started to watch porn, because everyone starts off as a non-addict.
Right.
And they always start for the same reason. They're curious and it's available.
Right.
Okay? So far there's not a problem.
Right.
Okay? But then they start watching it, their brain releases dopamine.
Right.
It goes to the reward center of their brain. Okay? Then they usually masturbate, and that releases more chemicals.
Right.
And what happens is a neural pathway actually starts to form on a cellular level, their brain changes. And then over time, the reward center of the brain builds a tolerance up. And so that's why we go from Sears catalog to Playboy to videos to the nasty, hardcore stuff that's out there today.
And a lot of it is also where it's just not even watching, but participating with women that are, or I don't know, men too, I don't know, but that are actually sort of engaging right there, like live, right? Which
Right, yeah. I mean, with technology now, you can get into
webcams.
yeah, exactly.
yeah, chat rooms.
Yeah.
You can go in a chat room and there'll be, you know, maybe 20 or 30 people, and you click, and then you go in that. You can click and say, I want to go private.
Right.
So then you go in a private chat with that. And then it can be webcam, no webcam. It can be one way. It can be both ways. So I've had clients, because I deal with the men and the women. So I've had clients where she walks in on her husband in front of a computer live with another woman, and and she's naked and he's masturbating.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right? So is that cheating?
So is that cheating? Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like it to me.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
When they interviewed women, partners, porn addicts, almost 80% say straight out it's cheating.
Right.
Just looking at porn is
Right.
cheating.
Now, do you think what do you think the percentage is of people that have that watch porn on an excessive?
Yeah.
When it comes to men, I always wonder that, because myself, I was in a relationship, in a loving relationship, sexually satisfying relationship, but where my boyfriend still said, I like to watch it once in a while because it's no big deal. And I was like, no. For me, there was no in between. It was like, you're with me or you're watching that. There was no grace. And I remember that he just couldn't, he was like, but why? It's no big deal. We just look at it differently. And I'm like, well,
It's a guy thing.
Yeah, it's a guy thing, right? And I never felt comfortable with it. And I'm sure that a lot of relationships have that kind of soft porn, little bit of watching where it's not affecting the relationship, but
this, I think, about respect. Like,
It
you have to
is.
listen to your partner. Your partner is saying, I don't like that. It don't makes me feel good. And then that person becomes, lying and hiding. If you have to hide something, it's because it's not good. That's what I believe.
absolutely, as soon as you hide it, it's a negative. It's
Exactly.
you have to lie about it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a lot of couple who get a gratification with, sharing that, that
watching it
experience.
together.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But at what level, like, I just wonder sometimes, is it really like just a guy thing where it's okay for him to watch while in a healthy relationship?
Well, there's a couple things, when you bring up, there's a couple things I'm thinking about. One is that, when you say it's a guy thing, like, what does that really mean anyway, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like that, because it absolves the man of the responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I can't help it, I'm a guy. Like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
because
It's my nature.
it's
I'm
my
just
nature.
sexual animal.
Yeah, right.
That's what they
And you know what? I expect more of men.
Yay, me too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I want to say to a guy, okay, look, if you're going to be in a relationship, whether it's you're married or in a committed relationship, what that means is that her feelings should matter to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So as soon as they give lame excuses like it's a guy thing or it's no big deal, they're protecting their pornography.
That's
Because
true.
there's a part of them that likes it. And they're protecting that, and they're choosing the pleasure that porn gives them over the feelings of their partner.
You're right.
So if he really cares for you and you express to him, if a couple comes to me and I say, hey, so how about porn? And they're like, oh yeah, we watch it together and it's great and really great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then you go ahead and do that
Yeah, of course.
and let me know how that works out for
It's a
you.
shared,
Right?
yeah.
Okay, however, I will also say that many couples have come to me and that used to be their perspective,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Until she found out that he's actually not watching it with her once a week, he's watching it with her once a week and also on his own 3 times a day.
Yeah, 3 times a day.
Right?
Yeah.
And masturbating to porn 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And there's studies, like this isn't just my opinion, I mean there's studies that show porn decreases attraction to your partner, porn decreases libido, porn creates more disconnection in the relationship, And I've had so many women tell me that, you know, even when we're making love or being sexual, you know, I feel like he's not even there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like he's just using me.
Well, if you get him caught on watching, then when you are having sex with him, then you'll be thinking, oh my God,
Is he faking?
he's here or he's
Yeah.
thinking
Right.
something else?
Yeah.
Right.
Then that's when it becomes an issue on your self-esteem, because then you're always doubting, right?
Well, and a lot of times it's like, you know, women, like, you know, we all have, like, our bodies are all unique, but when you see some of the bodies that, you know, like they have implants, they're skinny, so where, you know, how do you feel when it's just the two of you, but you know that he has
that image
seen
of
an
the-
image of what these women are. It's so unreal that where do you fit at that point?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, and there's a great quote by Naomi Wolf, who's an author that wrote The Beauty Myth.
mm-hmm.
And she said in that book that real women are just bad porn. And what she meant by that is that men have literally accessed thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures of what I call pornified women who have spent 3 hours in hair and makeup and have breast jobs and plastic surgery and all the camera angles and all this sort of thing. And so their mind has been glued neurologically to that object world.
That's right.
And it's a world of fantasy
It is.
objects. And so, you know, I don't care how good looking you are, you're boring.
Yes.
And I talk to all kinds of women, and these are really attractive women, gorgeous women.
And they're not.
They feel unattractive. And you know,
Right.
when you wanted me to talk about the effects that this has on a woman's self-esteem, and the self-esteem goes down for sure, right? And there's the odd. I'll run into the odd person, and maybe she's just really secure about herself and has a really great self-image, and she knows. She goes like, you know what? I know this isn't about me. I'm happy with how I am.
Sometimes at some point that you think, maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I should try. Maybe I'm just great. Maybe like a nail, like maybe there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Even like
That
behind
you
your
have to do
mind,
that, right?
even if behind your mind you know who you are, but it plays tricks on your mind.
Well, most of the women are not like that, and what they do is they blame themselves first.
Yes.
A lot of times.
Always,
they'll be mad at him, like you shouldn't do that, you know I don't like it, why are you lying to me? And then they turn inward. And I've had women tell me they have gone out and got breast jobs, they have started working out, they lose weight, they dye their hair blonde, they try to look like a porn star. I mean, that's a big
but the addiction is still
it makes no difference.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
difference.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
Yeah,
Lose
that's what I
weight,
figured.
they'll give them sex 5 times a day.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, then no sex for you.
So the addiction
So they
is
cut it off.
rooted now. Like the brain has adjusted to a different experience.
I believe it's like that drug.
It is a drug. It is a drug.
That's why it is so. I mean, the business is now isn't it the highest business, like billions and billions of dollars?
Human trafficking, drugs, and porn are the 3 largest businesses in the world.
Wow.
And
but
arms
I really believe, like honestly, like even on advertising, how he's just exposing sex to even younger generations.
Yes.
On internet,
It's already
you can be looking for coupons to go online to a restaurant, and then it pop like, oh, here, I'm on a webcam. Why is this popping?
Well, I find that the youth has been completely desensitized
Exactly.
to
Yeah, they
sex.
have.
And I have 3 sons who are in their 20s, and they've sent me little joke texts with pictures where I'm just like, you what are you guys watching? And they're like, Mom, it's just funny. I'm like, I would never look at that as funny, right? Like sexual explicit pictures.
But what about if you are sending the same picture but in a guy to them? What are they thinking? Oh, that's not right, right?
Yeah.
Because if it comes the other way,
It's
then a woman will be name calling.
Yeah, and you're touching on a point, and you kind of alluded to it earlier about how many people are actually engaging in this, and it does somewhat break down to age. So I would say, 15, 16-year-olds, much lower percentage.
Right.
You know, they didn't grow up in that culture. They grew up with different set of values. It's just not something that appeals to
That's
them.
50 to 60.
Yeah, it's 50, 60, 70, kind of that.
I thought
let's say
15
the
to
senior.
okay, 15 to 60. I thought that's
Like, I mean, I have clients in their 60s,
right.
but they would be maybe 10% of my clients.
Okay.
Okay? But then if you have the 30 and under crowd, it's a whole different ballgame now. And statistics tell us that, first of all, the average age of exposure is 11 to hardcore porn.
Oh,
Okay, hardcore
that's
porn,
sad.
it's 11.
Oh.
And it's well into the 80-some percent of boys in high school have looked at porn.
Yeah.
So I would say it's probably 8 or 9
Because
out
you
of
were
10.
mentioning about mobile, right? Like now
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
I mean,
smartphones,
yeah.
it's just.
You got a smartphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could look up in 5 seconds. We could be looking at any kind of porn. That you
I have
can think of.
settings on. I don't want to watch anything.
Right. Well, and this is the other thing is a lot of
The
parents
settings.
they're really out to lunch with this whole, how accessible it is with
Mhm.
not having. I just had a friend of mine, called me up. His 16-year-old son, was having some issues with this, and I said like, well, you have filters, don't you? And he's like, no. I'm like, what? You have 4 kids and you have no filters on your computers? And he was like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Right.
It's just stupid. Like it's
Right.
stupid not to.
Not to protect yourself.
It's almost neglect. You're
Yeah, yeah,
neglecting
it
your
is.
child because, like you said, anything can pop up, and for an 8-year-old boy to watch a teenage gangbang is
Yeah.
traumatic. It's
Yeah.
traumatic.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
disturbing to them. They're
Yeah.
traumatized by that, right?
I do pretty much
I
have a
actually
computer
say,
on an open area.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yes, you should.
My kids
Yeah.
will never have a computer in their own room. Like they
Perfect.
have them set up on the living room, and I
Yeah.
can see and they have their own links.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they can
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Because we're not even talking about cyberbullying,
Yeah.
predators, stalking, all that other stuff that's out there as well. We have to be careful,
Yeah.
right? So.
oh, there's some messed up
Mhm.
stuff out there.
Mhm.
Now, what do you think, like for our viewers, what do you think is if someone was concerned that might be going on? What are the signs to look for?
You're concerned your partner may be looking at porn, or your children,
Like
or
for
both?
any viewer who would say, I have, like, let's say partner, okay?
Okay, so if you're watching this, let's say you're a woman watching this, okay? And first of all, I know if you're a woman, you have that little voice that talks to you, okay? Because they all come in and tell me, and you should listen to your little voice
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
right. Your little voice is
Yeah.
right. Okay,
It's
so
true.
listen to your little voice.
Intuitiveness.
Right, and that intuition. I've had so many women go like, I don't know why, I just thought I'm gonna go down and check his
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
Just
You know,
like that.
they don't, I don't know, there's something not quite right, and they go down and all of a sudden there's
Yeah.
oh my gosh, the history. But, things like, deleting, is the history always
Yeah,
deleted?
and you know what? That's
Yeah.
the one thing. It's like men,
Yeah.
they are not that, like there's...
Not that bright?
No, not that. History.
Yeah.
That's...
Well, you think that would be a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, really.
But I have so many guys that are like, yeah, she saw my history. I'm like, really? You're not even smart enough to delete it,
Yeah.
Or I left my phone out and, the sexting, I was sexting this girl at work and I left my phone on the table. I'm like, how dumb are you?
Yeah, right.
You could delete it, right? But it's almost like they want to get caught, right? But, the history's gone. Big one is my phone's locked and you're not
Right.
getting the password.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or just like you can tell, can I borrow your phone? I want to look up something. No, give me that.
Oh, right.
No,
Right.
this is a good one. Oh, it's
Yeah.
only spam.
Yeah, it's spam. Yeah, I don't know how she got my email. That's right. Yeah,
Oh, that's a big one.
that's
Oh,
spam.
it's just
I don't
spam.
know why she's naked either.